beautiful Holladay Distillery in Western Missouri, enjoying ourselves, watching some college football, sipping on an 1856 old-fashioned barrel-aged bourbon. It's been great. Really enjoying ourselves out here and getting to watch some offensive tackles. And one of the rarest offensive tackles we've seen in recent memory, Neal out of Alabama, special player. Take a look a little bit at him here. And, he's a guy who, 6'7", 350, but his weight's kind of fluctuated. I think he came in a little bit lighter even at the NFL Combine. But, whatever weight he plays at, the movement skills stand out immediately for him.
And he is a specimen. You look at him and you don't think he's a 350 guy.
No, he doesn't look like it at all.
There was a picture of him at the Combine where, if you did not know, if you have no reference to anyone standing around him, you think he's a tight end because he carries his weight so well. And you look at him on the screen and he is a prototypical left tackle. He looks like he was made in a laboratory. He really does.
But both sides, run and pass.
Yep.
I think you see what his ability. He's a nasty finisher in the run game. But the movement skills are outstanding, so he can climb easily to the second level. He can block in space. You can get him out on screens. You can get him out pulling, whatever. He's going to be able to do a lot to move people and really be a problem for second and third level defenders that are half his size. He's still, they're not really slipping away from him. But, you see the length. He uses his length extremely well in the pass game, too. Like, he's pretty refined for, a young prospect. That Alabama offense and that Alabama coaching staff did a great job developing him. He's a guy that can absolutely jump in from day one and be an immediate starter for this football or for any football team.
Look at his feet too. For a man that big, when he locks you out with his arms, his feet they do not stop moving, which is an issue with some of these bigger guys. And you see it right there. His feet continue to move. He locks you out. The dancing bear, comp that a lot of people make is very adequate for him because he is that guy where he's just going to move people. He's going to move people and he's going to protect the quarterback.
The ceiling for him is one of the best tackles in all of football.
Yes.
He is one of the, top shelf players that you're going to see at the position. He's built to be a generational talent. And the next guy we're going to talk about, he may not necessarily be a generational talent, but he is a lot of fun to watch. He's one of the more interesting prospects at the tackle position in this draft. It's Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa, a small school guy, but he's gotten some opportunities during the pre-draft process to really show his abilities at the Senior Bowl. But this guy is one of the nastiest finishers you're ever going to see, Jake.
He's a mean person. He just seems like a mean person. And a lot of people last year, Spencer Brown was the bookend tackle at UNI. And a lot of people wondered, Spencer Brown, he tested out of this world good. And a lot of questions were, well, why was he playing right tackle at UNI? And the answer is Trevor Penning, because this guy is going to go higher than Spencer Brown even did and tested just as well. So UNI has had two really, really good tackles in back-to-back years, and all the athletic ability you would want in a left tackle. And I think that's where he's ultimately going to end up in the NFL. And I think teams are going to be excited with him. He's a little bit more of a project than some of these guys. And I think there's a little bit of that projection because he did play at the FCS level.
But there's so much to work with this guy. He is the nastiest finisher in this class. He plays with aggression. He plays angry. You're going to watch him finish here. That stun initially, it wasn't him finishing through. It was just an initial pop that knocked that defensive back over there.
He is going to be a guy that everyone is going to hate unless he's on your team. He's that type of player where it's you love the mentality he brings when he's on your squad, but he is an annoyance to defenses because of the way he plays the game. I think his teammates will love him for it, but his opponents are going to get real sick of seeing his face.
Yeah, and good movement skills, good athletic profile. Obviously, the level of competition, he held his own absolutely at the Senior Bowl against, some of the best talent he's ever faced. But there's still going to be a learning curve for him and some technical work as he continues to develop. But everything that you want out of a tackle, he has in his toolbox. And so physically, mentally, there's a lot to work with there. A really, really good football player. And he could find himself getting his name called in round one.
Mm-hmm.
There is one more tackle we want to talk about, a sleeper. And we're going to stay in the FCS. We're going to stay in the Missouri Valley Conference. We're going to talk about Cordell Volson out of North Dakota State. I got to talk to him at the East-West Shrine Bowl, one of my favorite interviews, and really a fun prospect to watch. And he had an outstanding week there as well. But Jake, you're well familiar with him. What do you think about Cordell Volson?
Yeah, I mean, so being able to work with the Bison football team, doing various things, just getting to know him as a person. He is a guy that emulated what college football is all about. Absolutely beloved in that program at NDSU. And I think he's going to be the same way when he gets to the NFL level. Just a guy that will do absolutely anything for the team. Will move positions, and he might move into guard if he has to. He's a 6'7" kid. So that's a little bit tall for a guard, but he could stay at tackle as well. But North Dakota State actually had some packages where they would kick him into guard and bring in another right tackle, and I mean they would just pound the ball. And that could be something that you see at the NFL level, and I think he could be a starter down the road.
I absolutely do too, and he might be able to stick at tackle, but I do think he has the mentality, the ability to play along the interior. He's a really good player, and he had a really good week. They moved him around a little bit at the East-West Shrine Bowl, but it didn't matter where he lined up. He held his own. Again, it's kind of similar to what we talked about with Trevor Penning, his ability to go up against really top level talent. He held his own any situation he got. And I'm rooting for him because I really enjoy getting to talk to him a little bit.
Yep.
Cordell Volson, North Dakota State, an offensive lineman to watch.